Greetings, this is Father Michael with our word of the week, and this week's word is tag. As children, very fun game to play is tag you're it, where you have a group, someone is it, if you will, and then chases after looking to tag someone else, passing on both the responsibility and challenge of being to reach out and touch another, and so forth and so on. The goal is to avoid being touched, but there's a power that is, if you will, bestowed on the other person once you are touched, that now you have the power to do the same. Here we have in our gospel today, if you will, a kind of spiritual game of tag. That is, Jesus works two miracles of healing that both involve the power of touch, and they work in a very complementary, if not opposite, ways. What do I mean by this? Well, Jesus is approached by Jairus, who says, "My daughter is sick." Jesus knows the daughter will die, but he's at that point, "My daughter is sick, come and heal her." And as he goes, a woman who suffered a hemorrhage thinks to herself, "For years I have been suffering with bleeding, and the doctors either take advantage or do not know how I might be healed." And what does she say to herself? If I can just tag Jesus, if I can just touch the hem of his garment, I will experience his healing power. He doesn't need to say a word. He doesn't even need to know it was me. She believes in the very physical act of reaching out to touch Jesus. And the miracle, of course, is once she reaches out and touch, she is healed instantly. She knows it. And I love the detail in the gospel. Jesus knows it, and so he says, awakening surprise in the crowd, "Who touched me?" He feels power leaving him, as it says. He discerns that someone has been healed, and of course the apostles say, "What are you talking about? Huge crowd?" There's no one. We could somehow figure out what that was going to be the case, but Jesus invites that woman forward, and he says, "What? Your faith, that is your trust, that touching me is all you need in order to be healed." That's powerful. Do we live in such a way that we reach out to touch Jesus in the sacrament of reconciliation, in the sacrament of the Eucharist, in the ways in which our prayer life calls us not to speak to Jesus as much as to listen? Do we reach out to him to hear a word from him, to be consoled by him, to experience his power in our lives? Because when we do that, what happens? Well, Jesus himself, having healed that woman, if you will, passively or by being touched, then goes to the little girl's house. He goes, and even though she's deceased, what does he say? He says, "Little girl, rise up," and he touches her. He grasps her by the hand, and he literally raises her back to life. Jesus, who has experienced his healing through being touched, now reaches out to touch those who are lifeless. So too, once we experience healing, the grace, the sacraments, all of the presence of God which makes us whole, we are called, like Christ, to do what? To reach out and tag others, to reach out and to share and be instrumental in bringing it, that is God's grace, alive in the life of others. This week, let's engage in a little play, a little spiritual tag. Let's reach out to touch Jesus in our lives, through our prayer life, through our worship, in our daily activity, so that having experienced Christ in our lives, we can be it, empowered by God's grace to reach out and to touch others with his healing power of love. Amen. Amen. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. Please like, subscribe, comment, interact with us. Together here at St. Dominic's, we want to continue to radiate the joy of the gospel in the heart of the city. Shine with the Lord's love. Amen. Amen.